Shabbat Shalom Kol Ami. I'm Rabbi Denise Eger, and I'm usually standing in the podium next to Rabbi Levy. Unfortunately, tonight, my doctor said no go. I've been fighting an infection for the last couple days, and I'd really hoped to be here in person. So I ask and beg your indulgence. But I did want to zoom in because, as you know, I'm leaving for Israel shortly to lead our Israel trip for our 30th anniversary. So I need to be strong and well for that. But I wanted to zoom in tonight to give my great gratitude to Rabbi Levy. He is a person of great heart, great mind, has been a wonderful colleague to me and a leader of our congregation. Rabbi Levy, when you came 2 years ago still kind of in the midst of COVID, fresh out of rabbinic school in Cincinnati, I think you were a little overwhelmed and wide-eyed to be here in Los Angeles with us. But during these past 2 years, you have proven yourself a great teacher of Torah, a great leader for our Open Yad project, revitalizing and invigorating it and building it up and taking on what Rabbi Chaikin had done and growing it with our Open Yad Council. You've given great strength to our Tzedek Council, and you have spearheaded our work with the Hollywood Food Coalition. Do you all know that we have fed more than 3,000 people this year through our sandwich making efforts? Don't miss June 24th for our next opportunity. Rabbi Levy, you have created music, you've created relationships, and you've created, most of all, I think, deep friendships. Your Torah is deep, your mind is great, your heart is wide, and I'm grateful to call you my rabbi and to wish you the best of luck, b'chatzlacha, as you journey forth into your next rabbinic adventure. And I am very proud to share with all of you, this is my home congregation that Rabbi Levy is going to in Memphis, Tennessee. So thank you, Rabbi Levy, for all you have done, for the friendship that we have forged through these last 2 years. And I know that you will be blessed on your journey as you have blessed us in these 2 years. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and I'll see you when I'm back from Israel.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. I think you can hear me. Thank you so much for your kind words and for your friendship and for everything. We certainly miss you here, but we will bring in Shabbat together. So welcome everyone to Congregation Kol Ami here in West Hollywood, California. My name is Rabbi Ross Levy. I'm the assistant rabbi here, and what an honor it is to be in this sacred space with all of you. As we are in the waning moments of one of our 3 big holidays, or at least the 3 big pilgrimage holidays of ancient days of Shavuot, I feel that it's not a stretch to say, Zeh hayom she'asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha vo. This is the day which God has made. Let us rejoice and let us have some fun and sing together and bring in Shabbat together. For those of you who might be new here to Kol Ami, and welcome to those of you streaming online, you can find the bathrooms all the way back towards the library to the right. They are non-gendered and single use, so just give a nice little knock before you head on in there. So let's get singing, shall we? Page 643, Hava Nashira, come let us sing a song of praise. And for those of you who might be a little bit new to services here at Kol Ami or Jewish services in general, the book flips open from right to left. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. 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 Hava, 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 hava nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah. So this word that we use a lot, hallel, hallelujah, means praise, and typically that often means praising with singing out and singing with your voices, but praise is also something that you can do in the way that you live and in the actions that you take, and that was kind of a little bit of an inspiration behind why I chose this particular text coming up here for an original piece that I wrote. There's going to be a lot of water sips tonight. I hope you all are ready for it. 1, 2, 3. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra. 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 Ahalala Adonai v'chayai, Azamra le'Elohai ve'odi. Having built up a little bit of energy and a little bit of light, we will now bring in the light of Shabbat. And it's my honor and my pleasure to invite Michael Cahill and Alana Masad, who will be lighting our Shabbat candles for us this evening in honor and in celebration of Mike's conversion to Judaism earlier this week. And you can find the readings and the blessing on page 121 and 120. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
אמן.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And as we bring Shabbat in with light, so too do we bring it in with sweetness. And so, Mike and Alana, if I can ask you to raise the Kiddush cups on high. Those of you joining us at home, hope you have a little bit of the fruit of the vine, whether that's grape juice or wine with you. We're on page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron ma'aseh v'reheshit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh, Zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat l'chaim. L'chaim. Feel free to take a sip. And then Mike, if I can ask you to please join me at the ark. And I'll ask that we all please rise as the ark is opened. You can go closer. Mike, this moment is really a culmination of a long journey of study, of diligent reflection, and in many ways, a journey of healing. And it's a journey that even as Alana is here and has been here by your side this whole time, it's a journey that you've embarked on and that you've sought out. And so standing here before this ark, in front of this lovely congregation of people, we confirm what you have already confirmed within your own heart and within your own soul, and that was ritually confirmed earlier this week with our mikveh and Beit Din. And so, carrying the weight, perhaps not quite as big of a weight as some of the other Torah scrolls, but the weight of the Jewish people and our tradition and what everything that this Torah includes but also symbolizes, I will ask you these questions. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will? Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge? Do you promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community? If you should be blessed with children, do you promise to raise them as Jews? Do you commit to building a meaningful relationship with the state of Israel and its people? Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices? Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances? And so I want to offer you this blessing. We had the opportunity to share many blessings over the course of our class and earlier this week at the mikveh, but I want to offer this on behalf of our ancient tradition. This is one of the most ancient blessings that we have, that the ancient priests would recite. And for this one, I want to have Alana come join me. On that side. And if you want to put your arms around him or anything like that. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and watch over you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God deal kindly and graciously with you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bestow favor and shine brightly, and may you always feel God's presence, and may God always grant you with that ancient blessing of peace and wholeness of shalom. And we say together, Ken Yehi Ratzon Mazel Tov. Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov. Presenting Mike with his formal certificate so that he is legitimate in the eyes of God and the Jewish people and, of course, in the state of Israel. And Michael has chosen the Hebrew name of Michael Netanel, which is a way of carrying his life and his family with him, both his father and his parents, who we are blessed to have here with us, as well as your grandmother, Dorothy. And so I hope that you can carry them with you always, and wishing you a hearty Mazel Tov. Y'all can return to your seats now. Please be seated, everyone. Having welcomed in Shabbat with a little bit of light, a little bit of sweetness, and with welcoming in one of the newest members of our people, we now turn to page 138 for Lecha Dodi. Welcome in this image of the presence of Shabbat that is often presented as a bride. And so we'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the 9th verse, I'll invite everyone to please rise and face the entrance where we all entered in from as we formally welcome in the presence of Shabbat. Lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי בא אורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. Now that we've welcomed in the presence of Shabbat, I invite you to turn to your neighbors and wish one another a Shabbat Shalom. If you haven't met, please introduce yourselves. Shabbat Shalom, Mom and Dad and Ronnie. From Peter. As we return to our seats, we now turn to page 146 and we remain standing. Sorry. We now turn to page 146 for the beginning of our service proper, our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Nope, that's the wrong one. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. If you'll join me in prayer at the top, page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mibe'yom. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. And just as we acknowledge that the light of the Shabbat candles, even if we experience it a little bit differently in the night as opposed to during the day, in the light of the moon and the light of the sun, we all see that it is connected. It's all part of the same fabric of the universe. And so we now rise together as we turn to page 152 and 153 for our declaration of oneness, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. You shall love Adonai, your God, with all of your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, and when you're lying down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a If you'll join me at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We now march together with our song of freedom, our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha, page 158. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei fele, nora tehilot osei fele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ne'emar ki bara Adonai et Yaakov gelo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. One of the great gifts of the Jewish calendar, which has so very many holidays, including one every single week, is that it gives us the opportunity to experience joy and different types of joy. There's the sort of excessive joy of Purim. There is the joy, the more solemn joy of Rosh Hashanah as we mark the transition into a new year. And then each and every week, we have this wellspring of joy. And so as we celebrate this moment and this Shabbat, this day of rest, which was given to us for us to enjoy, we're supposed to enjoy life and enjoy the time that we have. We'll now turn to page 162 for Yismechu. Yismechu v'malchuta shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. 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 Mekadeshei Shemi, Mekadeshei Shemi, Kulam yisbe'u ve'itanu, yisbe'u ve'itanu, mituvecha. Yismechu v'malchuta shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Yismechu v'malchuta ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וגוריוני, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת Having experienced a little bit of freedom and a little bit of joy, we now turn to really what is the central moment of prayer in any Jewish service, the Amidah, or the Tefillah, which simply means prayer. Amidah means standing. And it's our custom here at Kol Ami that we will sing the opening words that kind of pray for the ability to pray. Praying isn't always kind of the easiest thing to do. We don't necessarily do it all the time. So we pray to be able to pray. We say, Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, help me to open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Once we've completed with that, I'll invite those of you who would like to continue with your own prayers, whether they are the prayers that have been passed down to us by generations or the prayers that originate from within your own hearts and within your own souls. And so I invite you to please rise as we turn to page 164. Ya-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai, Ya-na-na-na-na-na-na Svatai Tiftach, Ya-na-na-na-na-na-na Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ya-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai, Ya-na-na-na-na-na Svatai Tiftach, Ya-na-na-na-na-na Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ya-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai, Ya-na-na-na-na-na Svatai Tiftach, Ya-na-na-na-na-na Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. When you feel that your prayer is finished, I invite you to please be seated. I wanted to take this special Shabbat evening to share a piece of music that I've been working on for a little while. I started kind of putting it together as a way of processing and expressing in the wake of the mass shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. And I did as so many of our ancestors have done. I looked to the book of Psalms, and I found a couple of verses from Psalm 130. Kiviti Adonai kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro holchalti. I turn to you, I direct myself to you, O God, and I wait your word. And I thought that that spoke perfectly to how I was feeling in the wake of that shooting, in the wake of so many other tragedies that we have experienced in this country, of trying to find the words to say. So I wanted to share it with all of you. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. 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 Nafshi l'Adonai mishomrim, mishomrim. Nafshi l'Adonai mishomrim, mishomrim. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. God, please teach me to speak when the words seem out of reach. My soul it yearns to be free to breathe, free to breathe. Try it with me. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. One more time. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. Kiviti Hashem, kivta nafshi, v'lidvaro chalti. With our prayers still resonating within us, with those words that we were able to find ringing within our hearts, we now offer a prayer for healing for those who may be in need. On this Shabbat, we're thinking of John Altschul, Aaron Aronow, Gary Ashland, Stephen Baird, Ricky Bander, Marianne Barak, Hester Baum, Michael Becker, Sophie Bellsberg, Roberta Bennett, Lisa Bird, Elaine Blatt, Louise Cantrell, Wayne Cantrell, Amy Chadwick, Bill Cohn, Bertha Coleman, Michael Dyer, Rabbi Denise Egger, Tino Felipe, Bernie Goldstein, Robert Greenberg, Addie Lelyveld, Ronnie Levy, Jeff Mackler, Peter Mackler, Larry Mendelson, Yeet Nakowitz, Zachary Pierce, Vitaly Popov, Keith Rand, Ben Reback, Arlene Regan, Ivan Rosenberg, Richard Ross, Myrna Salzberg, Lowell Selvin, Miles Sen, Karen Shanbrom, Luann Snyder, Henry Sommerfeld, Travis Terry, David Suriel, Stephen Valentino, David Ben Herschel Vibasha, Adam Weisbart, Philip Winsber, Eitan Wolf, and Doug Workman. To these names, we add those of your loved ones. If there's anyone that you're thinking of at this time, I invite you to share their name aloud so we can take them into our hearts with our own. And those of you joining us online, I encourage you to write the names of your loved ones in the chat as we wish for refuah shlema, a complete and total recovery, or if not complete, at least a small step towards more comfort and more recovery. We now turn to page 371 in your prayer books for the Misha Berach, our song and prayer for healing. Shebeirach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishebeirach avotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. It's now my great honor and pleasure to invite up the president of our congregation and also a close friend, Peter Mackler, to share a few words.
Wow. Rabbi, look out here for a moment. These are your friends. These are your family. Now, I recall, because they were some of my words, but I recall 2 years ago when you first arrived here at your installation, that I had the great honor of, as serving as president, standing at this bima, and reading the inscription above here. I remember it very clearly. I hope you do too. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. And I remember telling you that as you were coming into the Kol Ami family, that we built this house, so many of us over the last 30 years, as a house for all people and as a Kol Ami family. You have earned a place in our family. We didn't just welcome you. You have a place here forever. You taught us. You learned from us. We shared with each other. And what more can either one of us ever hope for in a relationship like this? We wish you all Godspeed. Good luck on your next journey. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is truly my great, great honor, Rabbi and friend, to present with you not one, but two gifts here. See, if you had stayed a third year, maybe you would have gotten a third. But with two, you get two. Rabbi, we thank you. There's going to be a lot more of this, but we thank you. We are the ones we are the ones honored, Rabbi, to have you as part of our family. We thank you. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce two members of our Open Yard Council, Keegan Jones and Rachel Lawson, to say a few words on behalf of Open Yard.
Hi, Rabbi Ross. Hi. So first of all, I just want to say thank you on behalf of Open Yard and everybody else here. We have really loved having you here. I mean, you've been here longer than I have, but the year and a half that I've been coming here, I have, truly loved and appreciated your presence in our community. You have brought a lot of joy and fun and music. I've never been a part of a temple that had kind of a 20s and 30s group before, and our Hollyweird tours and our karaoke under the sukkah. We've had an incredible amount of fun, and we've appreciated your presence so much. And we are all going to miss you a ton, but I think I can speak for all of us when I say we're so excited for you and the next steps on your rabbinic journey. So we have some more things. So I want to thank Elizabeth Lackman for helping get all this organized. We have for you a gift card for a restaurant in Memphis, as well as a membership to National Civil Rights Museum, and as well, that off. So this is, and I swear to God, we had no idea how the service was going to start, but we did some sleuthing. We sent a spy to find some of your favorite pieces of scripture, and because of how much music you have, brought to all of us, we felt that Psalm 146 was really fitting. So it wasn't that weird when that popped up at the beginning. So I want to thank Devorah for being our spy and checking our Hebrew, and Rachel for her beautiful artwork. And so our plan is to kind of leave this out after we're done here. So leave this out after we're done here, so that if anyone has any words of gratitude or, well wishes, whatever, yeah, we invite you to kind of write in the margins any messages you have for Rabbi Levy as he leaves us. So, yeah, thank you so much.
And I think there's another presentation, something, video, slideshow. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Struggling to find the words, but thank you. It really means a lot. So if it's all right with everyone, I'm going to say something now. On May 26th, 2007, exactly 16 years ago to this day, on the Gregorian calendar, on the secular calendar, or on the 9th of Sivan, 5767, on a sunny day in Nashville, Tennessee, a nearly 13-year-old Ross Levy stood before Congregation Habe Shalom, or commonly referred to as the Temple, leading the congregation in prayer and reading from the Torah in recognition of becoming a bar mitzvah. Now, remembering that day brings back a lot of different emotions. The weight and awe of standing before my community, the slight panic that came with sweating through the new suit that I just bought from our family store, and seeing the tears in my parents' eyes as they offered me a blessing. One of the most special elements of that Shabbat morning service was that I was not alone in reading from the Torah scroll, but was instead joined by my father, as well as my Nana, Annette Levy-Ratkin, and Grandpa, Murray Acco, both of blessed memory. On a day such as this, I can't help but feel their presence, along with my other grandparents, Barbara Acco and Reuben Ratkin, as I have felt them in each step of my rabbinate thus far. Now, the Torah portion for that Shabbat was Parashat Naso, the same Torah portion we read on this Shabbat following Shavuot. Couldn't have planned it any better. Now, designating Torah readings for burgeoning B'nai Mitzvah is always a tricky calculus for us Jewish educators. Rather than present the entire portion, we usually filter the parasha down to a couple of sections that we feel present the best opportunity for our students to engage meaningfully with the text. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it goes. So I thought it would be appropriate today to take a survey of this week's Torah portion. Now, curious as to which parts I learned and what parts might have been left out for pedagogical purposes. Now, the parsha begins with, you guessed it, we're in the book of Numbers, taking a census, specifically of the various clans of the Levites, each of whom have a special responsibility when it comes to the building and the maintenance of the tabernacle while wandering through the wilderness. Our Torah then briefly mentions guilt offerings to be brought for sacrifice upon the realization of wrongdoing, before then shifting to what we typically refer to as the Sota ritual. This elaborate pseudo-magical ritual describes how the priests were to scrape off the ink of a written curse into a bowl of water, mix it up, and then present it before a woman who has been accused of adultery. She then drinks it, and depending on how her body reacts to this potion, it is then determined whether or not she is indeed guilty of being unfaithful. Now, I can definitely understand this is perhaps not the best choice to present in front of a 13-year-old boy. We then arrive at the text that I, along with two other generations of my family, did indeed chant on this Shabbat 16 years ago. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, Daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta aleihem ish o isha ki afli lindor neder nazir lehazir ladonai. I don't think my voice cracked quite as much as it did back then. Then God spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if any men or women explicitly utter a Nazarite's vow to set themselves apart for Adonai, they will say such and such." Now the text goes on to describe the vows of the Nazarite, a particularly restrictive set of vows for these particularly pious individuals within the Israelite nation, the most famous of which being Samson, whose story is indeed this week's Haftarah portion. Now, Nazarites are forbidden from drinking wine or any alcohol, cutting their hair, specifically states no razors shall touch their head. Whoops. Nor come into contact with a dead body. Not exactly sure how I interpreted these vows, but I think it's safe to say I did not take them upon myself. Moving past my bar mitzvah portion, we then come to one of the most famous passages in Naso, let alone the entire Torah, a fact of which I was unaware until my first year in rabbinical school. The text reads, "Speak to Aaron and his sons. Thus shall you bless the people of Israel. You shall say to them, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God deal kindly and graciously with you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bestow divine favor upon you and grant you peace. Thus they shall link my name with the people of Israel, and I will bless them." Usually referred to as the priestly benediction, or Birkat Kohanim. This is one of the most ancient blessings, as I've already said, in our sacred literature. Now, as a rabbi, I have the great honor and privilege of bestowing this blessing, frequently during baby namings, weddings, b'nai mitzvah, and, as we've seen tonight, conversions, among many others. But on this night, filled as it is with a special mixture of joy and sadness, I hope to flip this blessing a little bit. I want to offer my deepest gratitude to you, members of the Kol Ami community, for blessing and watching over me as I've stepped into this new role of rabbi these past 2 years. Thank you for dealing kindly and graciously with me as I learned and grew, both as a new rabbi and as someone who is not a part of the LGBTQ community, even as it has come to feel like a home to me. And thank you for bestowing favor unto me, for sharing your hearts and homes, your stories and sorrows, and the many, many, many things that make this community so special. The relationships we've built and the sacred work we've done, I feel, and I certainly hope you do, have brought more peace and more wholeness into the world. For they have certainly brought more shalom into my heart. I feel deeply the words of our ancestor Jacob, who said, "Katonti mikol hachasadim umikol ha'amet she'asita et avdecha." I am humbled and I am grateful. The Hebrew literally says, I am made small from all of the kindnesses and all of the truth that you have bestowed upon your servant. Now, before concluding with a final piece of Torah, there are a few people I need to thank. First and foremost, I want to thank my parents for all of their support and for their fervent dedication to tuning into our live streams whenever possible. Thank you to the Kol Ami Board of Trustees for entrusting me with this sacred responsibility and for supporting and nurturing me these past 2 years. And finally, thank you to my teacher, my rabbi, my friend, Rabbi Denise Egger, for all that you've taught me and continue to teach me each and every day. We miss you dearly in this very moment. I miss you dearly in this very moment. But todah rabah rabah, thank you. I want to conclude with a text that, to be honest with you, I was not familiar with until last night's Tikkun Leil Shavuot, our special learning session to celebrate Shavuot. It's a text that was shared by Rabbi Barry Lutz, who will be beginning his tenure here as an interim rabbi. And in his very beautiful teaching, he spoke to the power of relationship, specifically the special power of reciprocal relationships. which is hinted at in the book of Proverbs, where we read, Kamaim hapanim lapanim ken lev ha'adam la'adam. Just as a face is reflected in water, so too does one's heart reflect that of another. I am so grateful to have had the chance to feel the reflections of your hearts in my own. And it is this powerful notion of relationship, hearts reflected in one another, that characterizes this special community. And I will carry it with me always, as I bring a little bit of West Hollywood to West Tennessee. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Please be seated. Once again, I've had the privilege of having so many teachers during my time here at Kol Ami, and I actually shouldn't have told you to sit down just now. Feeling a lot of emotions up here, but Dr. Nancy Cohen, Chazanit, Cantor Nancy Cohen, has been so wonderful in sharing her Torah with me, and so I'm very honored to invite her up here.
As Rabbi mentioned, in this week's Torah portion, we find the ancient tripartite blessing. Interestingly, the word face occurs more than one time in that blessing. I've always been fascinated by that word in Hebrew, panim, because it's plural. In one of your teachings, Rabbi, you told us something that I love. You referred to the Shema and the blessing and the Shema and its blessings as the love sandwich. The panim, the faces, are the reflections that Rabbi Lutz referenced last night. The love is both faces. And we will carry your face with us forever, and we hope that you will carry our image with you forever. And so I'd like to invite you to rise. And if you're comfortable to do so, well, come down here. Put your hand on another person's shoulder so that we connect all together as we bless the rabbi.
Here to the rabbi.
Sorry, Travis.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and always, always be with you. Yaher Adonai panav panav v'choneka. May God be a shining light for you and be very, very kind to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God look right at you and grant you peace. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. May this be God's will.
Thank you. Mike should be on.
I dare anybody here to sit here with a dry eye right now. As Rabbi Levy said a few moments ago, my name is Peter Mackler, and I do have the great honor and privilege of serving as president of the Board of Trustees here at Congregation Kol Ami. And on behalf of our board, we want to wish you a very Shabbat Shalom. And as always, thank you to Travis Smith for audio and video. And to Lisa Edwards for her piano accompaniment. And to Leslie Katz on violin, Anna Barrero. And of course, Mazel Tov to Michael on your conversion. Welcome to the family, as always. So glad to have you. We thank you for all of our special sponsors of this service tonight in honor of Rabbi Levy and his service to our congregation. And they are listed in your bulletin and on the screen above. I hope they're on the screen there above. Are they on the screen? Okay, good. Now, tomorrow morning, May 27th, Rabbi Levy will lead a Shabbat holiness hike. Now, this is going to be the rabbi's last holiness Shabbat hike for Kol Ami with us. It's going to be at 10 a.m. at Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook at 6300 Hetzler Road in Culver City, California. Now, this being your last hike with us, Rabbi, this is also my last time to ever say, have a nice walk. We wish you a good walk tomorrow morning. Enjoy at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. God bless. Pride Month is almost here. Please join Kol Ami to celebrate LGBTQ Pride Month and lots of activities. Pride Shabbat will be on June 9th. You can march with Kol Ami in Los Angeles Pride Parade in Hollywood on Sunday, June 11th. Please help out Stamp Out Hunger during Pride Month with a chance to feed the homeless on June 24th. And watch E. Kolenu for more information. And then, as we've been saying, we are in a season of transition. Then on June 16th and 17th, we will celebrate Rabbi Egger as she becomes our Rabbi Emerita. We're going to have a special service on Friday, June 16th. There are a few seats left for the gala on June 17th as well. Won't you please help us sponsor the Friday night celebration? You could do so on our website. We want to thank Devorah Severy and Adam Rotenberg, Harrison Berger, Rabbi Egger, and Hugo Ugo, and Jose for their work to make this special celebration this evening honoring Rabbi Levy tonight. And on behalf, once again, Rabbi, on behalf of our board, we invite you all to join us for a very special oneg outside the services in honor of Rabbi Levy's service to our congregation. Please stay and enjoy. You can watch the last episode of Mrs. Maisel tomorrow or something like that. It's tempting, but you'll stay here with Rabbi Levy. And as always, we hope you'll keep up to date on all that is happening in Congregation Kol Ami by visiting our website often at, there's a lot of letters here and some dashes.
That's Kol hyphen.
Would you help me here, Rabbi?
Sure.
Here, how does this, come here. I get confused over this, I'm sorry. There's a lot of letters and some dashes here. How do you read that?
Visit our website often at kol-ami.org. That's kol-ami.org. O-R-G. I still got it wrong.
Don't you ever forget that. And while you're on kol-ame.org, as down right there, please do consider making a donation to our synagogue to support the holy work we do all year long. And once again, a wonderful Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Peter.
Is that a question mark?
Yeah, thank you. We'll now move into the concluding portion of our service, beginning with Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 586. Please rise, the ark is opened. Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol, La'tet Gedula Le'otzeh Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpechot HaAdama, Shevo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim, Mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 591. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. We now think of those we've loved and lost, whether they have died in recent days, weeks, or months, or those who have passed at this season in years past. We're remembering Eugene Schreiber, grandfather of David Schreiber, Michael Jacobson, grandfather of Kathy Reback, Gail Bowman, mother of Eric Bauman, Tsipa Gochin Scala, aunt of Grant Gochin, Miriam Pollock Lelyveld, mother-in-law of Addie Lelyveld and grandmother of Phil Lelyveld, Marjorie Ostro Dresser, sister of Lauren Ostro, Norman Fettman, father of Carrie Fettman, Bernard Keller, father of Esther Keller-Baum, all of whom are memorialized here with yahrzeit plaques in our sanctuary. We're also remembering Harry Brodsky, grandfather of David Glickman, Stella Guess, friend of Joshua Bluxham, Victor Wertheimer, uncle of Stan Bergman, Cynthia Jacobson, mother of Stephen Jacobson, Richard Bloom, father of Brian Bloom, Tilly Karnofsky Crime, great aunt of Stuart Leviton, Harriet Ross, grandmother of Sherry Ross and Richard Ross, Carl W. Sen, father of Miles Sen, Lou Vicinelli, father of Shane Vicinelli, Robert Kent, cousin of Peter Mackler, Renee Hanman, niece of Martin Hanman, and Stephen Klong, cousin of Barry Edelman. At this time, we are also remembering Richard Frank, Lou Vicinelli, Dave Hall, Howard Romanoff, Greg Sonkin, Ruth Forster Williams, Reba Goldman, Michael Simmental, Victor Escobar, Alvin Gross, Ernie Benson, Kathy Weiss, Ellen Metzner, Janice Hooten Levi, Anton Malley, Josh Kaplan, Don Hollis, Jason Thomas Lodge, Elaine Cohen, Maeve Eisenberg, Barton Kogan, Dabby Blatt, Stephen Shapiro, Carol Rosenthal, Marilyn Horwitz, Murray Blank, Stephen Hochstein, Ernie Sosnick, Stephen W. Wright, Scott Moged, Gloria Brown, Rosina Spitzer, Lizzie Taylor, Jamie Hornbeck, David Bird, Fran Shanbrom, Louis Silverman, Patricia Rudolph, Harriet Stein, David Bordetsky, Vivian Bernard, Latrice Bloom, and Tammy Rabowski. If there's anyone else that you're remembering, I invite you to share the names of your loved ones at this time. As we acknowledge and mourn their death, we celebrate life by turning to page 598 and rising together as a community for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmed kudusha v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony and peace on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of humanity, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. The words to our concluding song, Shiviti, can be found just before you. Shiviti havaya lenegdi tamid. Shiviti havaya lenegdi tamid. Havaya. Shiviti havaya lenegdi tamid. Shiviti havaya lenegdi tamid. Havaya. Before we head out and enjoy a wonderful oneg, we'll say the motzi, the blessing over the bread together. Sorry. Wow. How beautiful. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarechet amo v'shalom. May God bring strength to all of God's people, and may God bless us all with peace. We sing together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, amotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for joining us.